Just off the top, want to acknowledge Memphis. Hard-fought series, and was particularly impressed with just their fight in the series. Obviously, a demoralizing game one for them, and they were better, as I mentioned pregame, in game two. Really good in game three, and their fight tonight was impressive. Down 3-0, down Morant, down 11 with 4 to go. So a lot of respect for them competitively. Questions?
Mark, most of the season you guys avoided playing close, a lot of clutch time games. What did you make of the way that you guys finished this one tonight in terms of, just fouling appropriately when you needed to and then getting some good shot making from Dub and Shai?
Yeah, these last two have been good for us, and on a playoff stage with playoff pressure. And I thought we executed really well late in this one, like very late. We could have been a little bit tighter when we built whatever the lead was. I think it was 11. And I thought, we just got a little loose on some defensive possessions specifically. But once it tightened up, I thought everything from defensive execution, clock management, the fouling up three, the block out on the free throw was all very positive.
Mark, obviously, it's subjective, but the scoring Shai did today was probably closer to the standard he set all season. What do you think allowed him to get to that?
I think he was pretty consistent with his floor game in all these games. I thought the way he played didn't change, and that's really what we're focused on. So I thought he had some makeable stuff in some of the early games that he missed, but I didn't think he played any different. I just think he got into a groove, obviously, today and last game.
I think 22 turnovers for Memphis, 32 points off those turnovers. Obviously, you shoot, I don't even know the number, 7 for 35 from three. Like, I know you've talked about the steals not being your intention, the turnovers not being your intention, but did you come into this postseason with the expectation that you could swing games based on the possession battle and I don't know, the product, I guess, of activity?
The possessions are important. We want to try to win them however we can. We focus more on being disruptive, which can yield turnovers, but it can also yield tough shots. I thought a lot of our breakdowns defensively came after the first action tonight. We handled the first action really well, and we got them deep into the clock, and then we had a little bit of a breakdown. They salvaged a lot of possessions, I thought. Credit to them. They kept playing through, but I thought we were really disruptive tonight. I thought we were really active. We played really hard and did a really nice job defensively, like I said, at the point of attack and to start the possessions.
Mark, what does it mean looking into the second round to have a sweep like this and have a time off?
We'll always take it. We're trying to win every game. We can't choose how the series unfold. We put our best foot forward and let the outcomes be what they are. But it's good, obviously physically to rejuvenate. Guys, I'm sure, are dealing with little things here and there that they get to get healthy, and allows ample prep time. I thought we handled it really well coming out of the regular season, getting ourselves ready to play at the start of this series. We're going to need to replicate that this week as we wait for that other series to finish.
Michael Martin, Let's Talk Thunder. Mark, you mentioned earlier this year that Dub's not the same guy he was last season, that there's been a lot of continuous growth and development on his end. I know they're very different opponents last year with New Orleans and Dallas, but is there anything differently you specifically did utilizing him in this series compared to last year?
No, I just think he's an evolved player. He's a year older, and a year is a long time when you're in your third year. It's a third of his career. So guys can get a lot better, year over year, and I think the cumulative experience from his first 2 years, Chet same way, Case and Wallace same way, the cumulative experience from those 2 years, a playoff run, a summer of reflection and work and body, work on their body, and then another 82-game season is huge for guys, and so again, I've said before about Dub, he's a great player, but it doesn't mean he's not a growing player. He still has a lot of runway as a player, and obviously continues to get better. He was great tonight.
Yeah, Mark, you have somewhere between 7 and 9 days here. I'm wondering if you learned anything from having a similar stretch last year between round 1 and round 2, and you look at this year and say, oh, if I'm in that situation again, I'm going to do this time?
Yeah, we've had these long layoffs, between the 1 seed last year, the play-in week, and then we swept last year as well. So we had that long layoff between round 1 and 2, and then we had another layoff this year, during the play-in week. I think, we made some progress from last year to this year in terms of our process, but we've done a nice job of getting ourselves ready, for the series. We've played well in the game ones. I think we've maintained, relative rhythm and sharpness for as much as you can without games. So we'll try to replicate that and do it again this week, but it's easier said than done. The guys have to bring great focus and intentionality. We have to put a great plan out there. Hopefully we all do that.
Anyone else?
All right, thank you.
I wasn't gonna ask him. It says 4:35 drop off. At the airport.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. 20 minutes. Cool. They pick us up at 4:15.
Wheels up to 6 a.m.
Shai, you and Dub both got some good looks late that you manufactured in clutch time. What would you like best about kind of the feel that you two had for how to get what you needed there?
Yeah, it's something we work on all year. Like being able to, at the end of the day, just generate good looks down the stretch. Like the game gets tight, defenses are like more locked in, the game slows down, it's not as like fast paced. And it's a little bit harder to get quality possessions. So that's something that we've been working on all year. We were pretty good at it tonight, I think. We could be a little bit better. But we'll continue to work at it and do so. But yeah, we were okay tonight.
Shai, 13 for 24 tonight. That's closer to, I think, the efficiency level people have come to expect from you. Through these last 3 series between this year and last year, obviously those teams last year probably struggled to keep you from being inefficient. What do you feel like you learned about yourself this series?
I don't think I really learned anything new. I'm impressed with my level to, I guess, stay with it. In the past, I for sure would have, I guess, turned down the aggressiveness a little bit. And I think I made a jump as far as that this year. And that's something that I'm definitely proud of. I try not to focus on the results and just focus on my mental development. And I think I've taken a step forward in that. And I had a night like tonight because of it. In the past, I definitely would have, I guess, shied away from the moment because of where my shooting was headed. So yeah, I think I've taken a step mentally, but I think I've done so all season, and it paid off in the moment, in the night where we needed it, and that's what it's about, just getting it done. And because I stayed true to who I've become and who I've developed into, we got a W tonight.
And Dub, 32 points off 22 Memphis turnovers. I know you guys have talked all year about not trying to necessarily force steals and turnovers, but did you come into the postseason kind of with the expectation that you could swing games based on that sort of process?
I don't think swing games as far as steals, but like defensive physicality and like aggressiveness, yeah, like that can turn the tide in any series. That's not like even, I wouldn't even say that's like particular to like our team. That's just like a lot of philosophies is like, everybody talks about how like the playoffs get more physical, and a lot of that is on the defensive end. So that's something that we look forward to, and we tried to replicate throughout this season. So there's no adjustment in the postseason.
Yeah, Shai, did you make it a point to come into the night with this being a closeout game, aggressive early with those 16 points, and then it looked like you made an adjustment, or you took fewer threes through the first three quarters? Was that an adjustment that you made specifically tonight?
No, I just tried to be aggressive. And then the last three games, I feel like I was still getting to my spot, still getting where I wanted to go. The ball just wasn't going through the hoop. And tonight, the ball just went through the hoop. Like, I don't feel like my mindset tonight was any different. Every night I step on the floor to be the best version of myself, and I hadn't been in the past. Tonight I was pretty close to it. And I think because I kept the same mindset, it allowed me to play free and didn't have to like waver or click in or click out of a mind frame. I was just stuck in that same aggression throughout the series.
Shai, Joel just asked Dub about the points off turnovers, 32 tonight, 103 in the series. Why do you think, obviously you guys are a dominant defense team, why do you think you guys are so good at being able to convert turnovers into buckets?
We have really good players, and live ball turnovers typically leads to like playing in space and playing in transition. And when you give really good players space, it's pretty hard to stop them, and we tend to convert on those opportunities pretty often because of that. So I think it's a testament to not only our defense but our offensive capability all the way through the team. When we play in space, we're pretty hard to guard.
What else we got? Well, Michael Martin, then we're going to play first, and then
We're like teetering when I go to take a nap.
Shai, going through the sweep, how much does that mean for y'all going into the next round and having this time off?
I'm not sure. It can, honestly, like it could work both ways against us. Like it could add a little rust, or it could add a little freshness. I think trying to find a balance in between those two is going to be important in this next, however long it is till we wait for the next series. But we always say like the times in between the games is the days that you have to win in the playoffs, and that's where we're going to try to tackle in this next little break we get. Just try to be a better team than we were tonight, than we were this series come next series.
Dub, Mark throughout this series has talked a lot about how you're already a great player, but that doesn't mean you're not going to continue to get even better and better, because a lot of guys don't even reach the level that you're at right now. You've really, really improved, it seeming like in this playoff series. Is there anything that you can point to throughout this season that you feel like has really grown in sort of your game that's allowed for this to happen?
My mentality, just like every single game, trying to like stay in like an aggressive mindset. When you have really good teammates and players, it's easy to like float and kind of just let the game go. So just trying to be like really aggressive for the whole entire game and make people have to guard me every single position.
And for that mentality, is that like a different approach as you're like leading into the game? Is it different guys talking to you? What do you think exactly goes into, I guess, flipping that switch?
I think first it stems from the coaches and like my teammates. Like have enough confidence in me for me to kind of go out there and be more aggressive. But I think too, just like starting early, like trying to be aggressive from, like I said, from jump ball to when the final horn is. I think that's been like the biggest development of my game. And that doesn't mean like go jacking a bunch of shots, but just kind of like be ready to go right away.
what else we got? Go, Joel?
Damn, I busted my shit, dude.
Dub, you mentioned the physicality earlier. I just wonder, do you feel like the nature of this team, the physical nature of this team has benefited you guys in the playoffs and sort of the way things are officiated?
Yeah, for sure. we kind of harp on just playing through contact, and I think the same way teams have made us feel, we try and replicate that, and we have really good players that can do that defensively. So I think that's what we kind of hone in on. Like the same level of force that we have on defense, we try and apply that to offense as well.
Anybody else? We can go last one to play, then we're going to go.
Jalen, when y'all got up 11 and they cut it back to a single possession game, what was the difference for y'all in that last 3 minutes?
Just execution. I think the good thing about that whole thing is when you like dissect a game, for us to go up 11 gives us the opportunity for them to also make a run and us still have the lead. So I think that was big, and I think the way we managed the clock and the shots that we got down the stretch were good, and ultimately I think that's what kind of like won the game. I think we did a good job fouling the way we did too. So yeah, when you add all that together and you look at the whole game, I just think that cushion that we had, 11 points, I think what it was you said. Yeah, I think that kind of gave us a little bit. So when they made a run, we still had, a lead, and we can kind of manage the clock the way we wanted to.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Camera people, is this clean? You want me to take these down? The cameras, the mic, we good? Clean? Okay. Go ahead, guys.
Chet, you had the huge steal late on Pippen, and it was just one of many throughout the series for the team. You guys score 103 points off turnovers in the series. Just tell me about the pressure that you guys are able to put on teams right now.
Obviously, every team coming into any game is looking at those numbers and figuring out how they can kind of turn them in their favor. And we just have to be smart every night, knowing that that's one of our advantages. We have to play physical. We have to play fast on the defensive end. We have to play to make plays. And we just have to stick with that. That's what we did tonight, and it worked out for us.
They were really hungry, the Grizzlies, and there's a bunch of stuff throughout the game that didn't go y'all's way. What did it take? What did you kind of feel internally that the group was able to do to get control of it and maintain it?
Yeah, just understanding that good teams with good players are going to make plays, they're going to make runs, and we can't let that affect what we need to do on our end to control what we need to control to win the game. And we did a good job of that. They made runs, they made big plays, but we were able to, settle down, get to our stuff, and execute.
Chet, what do you feel like you learned about yourself in this series?
I don't know. I feel like I know who I am. So.
Fair enough. And AC the other day said that he feels like his job at times is to help you get out of your own way. Do you feel like, well, he said that because he calls you a perfectionist. Do you sense that at times, and how has he maybe helped you to do that, and especially in this series?
Yeah, I'd say not only with myself, but with everybody on the team. We have a lot of dudes who are like think of themselves as really high achievers. They want to execute things. They want to get things right. And basketball is an imperfect game. And AC is somebody who's been through it. So he does a great job of not only talking to me, but coaching up everybody on what we need to do on certain possessions. He's talking to coach. He's doing a lot of stuff out there that not only doesn't show up on the stat sheet, it doesn't even show up on TV. You can't see it watching on TV, but when you're in the game and, he's communicating with you, he's relaying calls, everything, it's really important, and, it's been a game changer for us. So.
Just wait.
Chet, I know you've been asked about this a number of times, playing alongside Isaiah Hartenstein, just getting used to one another. Obviously, you didn't get an entire regular season to do that, but coming out of this series, though, what's the latest, so to speak, in the sense of how you two have been able to read off of each other on both ends of the floor?
Yeah, just understanding that even though we're out there together, it's not always going to be the same look. You know, we're going to have different matchups, different schemes based on who we're playing, who's out on the floor, and you know, we just have to do a good job of communicating with each other on both ends of the floor, knowing where each other is, so that we can kind of play off each other, feed off each other, and you know, help each other do what we need to do out there.
Chet, 4 games, 4 wins. Game 1, big blowout. 2, you guys keep it sort of an arm's length. 3, you guys get the big comeback, and then tonight you guys close out in clutch time. You guys have done it in a variety of ways. What's sort of the value of being able to win in different ways? Because you have a big Shai tonight, you have you in the other games. Like, just the value of being able to win in different ways.
We knew it coming into the playoffs. It was a big emphasis, talking point for us. Just knowing that every night, everybody has to be ready to step up, because it's going to be somebody's night, every single night, somebody different. You know, every night's going to look different. You know, I think we did it in every single fashion possible that you can do in 4 games. Every game looked so different, and we just had to kind of, back to what Nick was saying, we just had to stick to our stuff, execute what we could execute, and then, you know, really have a lot of trust in each other.
Chet, I'm curious your thoughts on the way Shai performed in this series. He had his ups and downs, efficiency, obviously, but how did you feel like he handled just sort of the ups and downs, not just for himself shooting, but the team?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where this, like, ups and downs thing is coming from. I think he played a hell of a series. You know, I feel like he was out there making the right reads, you know, getting good looks for us. At the end of the day, you can't judge performances based on the ball going in or not, because it's like, whether we're in or not, we like that shot. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, going back to, I think, Joel's point, it's an imperfect game. You know, Shai's never going to go 25 for 25. I hope he does, but he's probably not going to go 25 for 25 in a game. And, you know, he was making the right plays all series, making the right reads, trusting people. And, you know, that's been really helpful not only for myself, but for Dub, for, you know, everybody down the list. And, you know, I don't see that changing. He's going to continue to play great. And, you know, when that ball is going in at a high clip, you know, you guys are going to be up here asking me, you know, how special he was that night. So, yeah, it's going to be good to see when it happens.
How special was this series as a team? Because, you know, a lot of individuals didn't have their best performances at certain times, but you all still found a way, obviously.
Yeah, that's what the playoffs are about at the end of the day. I could ask you about a random player from 10 years ago. You're not going to know what he did in what game of what series. At the end of the day, all you know is, did they win or did they lose? So just understanding that at the end of the day, it's all about winning games, doing what it takes to win games. It's not about me or what I get to do or how I did this. It's about, you know, did we win the game tonight? And everybody just has to look at themselves and do what they have to do to win that game. And again, it comes back to everybody's got to be ready, because everybody's moment looks different. It comes at a different time, but you know, we're going to need everybody at some point throughout this. So we all just have to continue to stay ready and keep improving through experiences, and then you know, understanding that adversity is going to hit. So we got to be ready for it.
Chet, as a shot blocker yourself, I just want to get your evaluation of a guy like Zach Edey. I think tonight he has the most blocks by a rookie in a playoff game since, like, David Robinson.
Yeah. I mean, I gifted him a couple. He had a couple good ones, and then, you know, he's a big body in there, so, you know, you got to kind of move him around and not try to play over the top so much. As a shot blocker, I kind of know and understand that, and, you know, he had a good game on the interior. But now we have to, you know, look at ourselves where we can be better, and then focus on whoever we'll end up playing next and get ready for them.
Anybody else? Thank you, Chet.
Yep.
Thanks, Chet.